Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. Michael Zuber, one rental at a time, back with the one and only Beth Traverso. How you doing, Beth?
Hey, doing great, Mike. Glad to be back here for number three.
Yes, people love you. Thank you very much for doing this every week. I have a question though.
Yeah.
We are interested in entering a, Greg Dickerson says, "Good times never last, bad times never last." I have bad news. The bad times have started, and this could be a doozy. This I've said a couple of times, and I actually believe that 2023 might be the worst economic year of my adult life. And part of the reason of that is when I went through the Great Recession, that really was like 4 or 5 years of pain. It was it was probably collectively worse, but what I see in 2023 is short duration, lots of pain. So that's how I get to 2023 being the worst. I don't see this being 5 years. I see it being short, relatively speaking, short duration. But
Hmm.
that said, this is the first time for lots of people going through it, and fear, being fearful, that's a life skill, right? It keeps you alive, being afraid. But as investors, sometimes hidden behind fear is opportunity.
Right.
So how do you stay aware, stay safe, but also find the energy to look for the opportunity? Because that's not everybody does that.
Yeah. So it's like a mindset muscle that needs to be exercised daily. I'm not immune to fear. Nobody, I don't think anybody really is. Fear goes straight to your lizard brain, I call it. It goes like straight past any rational thought and right to this like fight or flight
Yeah.
response.
Hmm.
And so I think the first step for me is to recognize that and realize what that is, and realize that most of the time those bad things don't happen. Most of the time, those things that I'm stressed about never come to be. And I try to reframe it like what's the worst that could happen to like, okay, what's the worst that can happen? Think about all those things. And then also think about, well, what's the best that could happen? There's this could happen or that could happen. A lot of what I do is, well, there's a few things I do, but one thing I do is I get up early in the morning. I have kids in a crazy household, I work at home most of the time. And the only time I get quiet time is to get up early. I get up about 5 or so. And that might sound crazy to some people. You could just do whatever works for you. But I get up when things are quiet because that's the time when I can reflect and I can be intentional. I get a little exercise in. I do some mental exercises looking at what I want the day to look like, visualizing things, getting myself in the right headspace. This morning I was thinking, I'm going to look at myself in 2024 and I'm looking back in the real time, talking to myself in real time. What am I seeing or that I accomplished during that time? And thinking about, okay, it was a tough time. Boy, it was a bumpy road. Here's how, thank goodness we are at this spot now, and look how we're thriving and flourishing. And that's important. And I think also it's also a good thing to look back and when was another time that things were hard and how did we get through that? It was, 2008 was a very, very difficult time for me, that whole era. And looking back at that, like, okay, we handled that and came out on top. This is another thing that we're going to handle. We're going to come out on top.
Yeah.
Um, and it also helps me. This might sound a little corny, but it's kind of reassuring to me. Like I got it. You get up early, you see the sunrise, and I looked out over the valley from my patio. I have this wonderful view of the sunrise, and I saw this glorious sky. And I thought, it kind of gets you just back in alignment with the world, and like you look at the timelessness of nature and the beauty of where we live. And like today is a great day. Sure, there's all this stuff going on, and maybe some bad thing might happen, or the Fed did this thing and rates went to here. And you look at that, and it's like none of it matters. It's a beautiful day full of opportunity. If I tune that stuff out, it doesn't even exist for a while. It's like you want to be sure that that doesn't become the talk track that's going over and over and over in your brain. So for me, I need to sometimes step back from your channel. I love the positivity that you have here and all the people who are doing great things. But there's these other channels out there that just speak to that lizard brain, because that's what gets the clicks and the YouTube money or whatever. I can't, whatever their motivation is, I don't know. Those people don't care. But I'm not paying attention to any of that. Some of them I blocked them from my feed, some of those ones, it's like I don't even need to know what they're saying because it's not pertinent to me.
Yeah.
Um,
I hope people heard that last part. 2023 is going to be, again, I'm saying it's not going to be a great year macro, but micro, meaning my family, we're going to be fine. We've talked about creative deals I'm trying to get done. It's going to be amazing, right? I really do believe opportunity hides behind fear. And too many people are watching those lizard brain channels, right? The lizard brain channels, the clicks. The only people getting rich are the content creators who are tapped into the lizard brain. And you know who they are. You go back and look at their channel, the last 50 thumbnails were exactly the same, all negative, all reds and yellows, and
even the ones
just
that didn't
scary
used to be
headline.
like that are now. And I'm like, come on, guys, really? Like I can barely look at YouTube anymore. I won't name them because, but you know
No,
who I'm
there's a
talking
couple of,
about.
yeah, I know who it is. Yeah, you
All
said that.
those
Oh my
ones that
gosh.
like used to be pretty level headed. And I'm like, come on, people, you know, like I just don't even want to look at that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Well, when
it's,
you get addicted to YouTube money, I guess you got to
and
feed
that's
that.
their
Like,
business. They're doing their job. It's not just them, but like the network news and the media,
of
they
course.
always go for that. It's been like that forever.
Yeah.
So
Thankfully on this channel, I have my finances under control and I don't have any crazy want, needs, or desires. So we're just going to keep telling the truth, keep bringing on
yeah.
amazing people like yourself, and we're just going to try to keep helping. So where can people find you, Beth, if they want to?
Yeah, they can find me most easily on my website, bethtraversogroup.com.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Beth.